Hello, welcome to another edition of The Naked Truth, and this is the second session of Father's Day and the myth of the deadbeat father. We earlier talked about the African American father and how it's a myth that African American fathers are deadbeats, because many of them are actually in the family and active in the family. Now, whether it be African American or not, there is this myth that mothers can provide everything to a male child without a male figure. Now, you have to realize that ultimately the best situation is to have both parents. Sometimes it's a situation, for whatever reason, that one is absent. Now, because one is absent does not mean that everything that child will receive comes from the parent who is there. Sometimes that child is going to progress, that child is going to grow in spite of the fact that they only have one parent, because God is good. He's going to put for a female, some female in her life that allows her to get a sense of who a woman is. For a male child, he needs to get a sense of what a man is, and that does not come from a woman. No matter how much she wants to be everything to that child, there are some things that, in spite of her, God is going to allow someone to come into his life to help him get a sense of what a man is.
Now, this is because we're just past, yesterday was Father's Day, and which I found, I was telling John about the issue on Facebook about they were calling, instead of calling it Father's Day, they were saying this is Single Mother's Day. I don't know why, who came up with that idea of a Single Mother's Day. Well, I'm not even going to go there. But there was a good article on Your Black World by, the title of it was Myth About Black Fathers That You Need to Stop Sharing Right Now, by Christy Crossman. Now, we all know that
there was a TV program on that, on The View.
Oh yeah, about The View. John and I watched The View with Terry Crews debating with Whoopi Goldberg and the other host on that program. And Terry Crews was saying that something John and I believe. Children, be it male or female, they need a male role model, preferably the father.
That's
but
right.
They need a male role model in their life. Now, some of the independent women, they say, hey, I can do it all.
Right.
Well, you couldn't get pregnant by yourself.
Right, and that puts the child at a disadvantage.
That puts the child,
for you to think that you can be everything means that you don't need anything else.
Right.
That makes the other party unnecessary. And if they were unnecessary, then why'd you get with them from the start?
Right. Now, in this article, it says that black fathers have no involvement in their child's life. That's a myth. That is an outright lie. A recent study from the CDC shows that black men spend more time with their children than any other race. The Pew Research Center shows that 67% of black men do not live with their children, but still spend more time with them than other races that do not live with their children. Now, you and I would be thinking because the society would have you believe that those fathers are deadbeats, because they're quick to put them in jail. They're deadbeats and this, that, but here it is. Those are facts. Those are facts right here. Another one is about, another one, John. Black mothers bring children into the world without being married because of moral issues. A recent study shows that 72% of black babies were born to unwed mothers. However, the number of black women getting pregnant has gone down significantly. Just because a woman has chosen not to marry but has a child does not mean that black fathers run from the thought of commitment.
It doesn't. I mean, the bottom line is this, that if you are a mother, realize that there are some limitations, and don't put your son at a disadvantage of being stuck on being the provider of every single thing that he needs, and in turn deny him the right to get a sense of who a man is from a man. Because if you do, then he's the person that suffers. Now, that does not say that you are inadequate as a parent. What that says is that you have the sense enough to realize that there are some things that you cannot do by yourself. You know, we are men of faith, and so I have to realize at some point that I have to get to the point where I can do absolutely no more, nothing whatsoever for myself, and at that point, God steps in. Why? Because if I could do it on my own, I probably wouldn't call on Him. And so for the mother, you have to realize at some point that when you're at your limit, then whether God steps in and provides it, or whether your father steps in, your brother, your uncle, the child's father, when you're placed in that situation where you're disadvantaged because the man is not in the house for whatever reason, then don't allow your disadvantage to become, for your child, for your male child, a situation where he is denied early on, that he's denied the right and the benefit of having a male role model. That's what we're saying.
It's so vitally important, and I think Terry Crews, please watch that video. Terry Crews was dead on point, and Terry Crews held his own. In that
He did, and I'm glad he got the point across.
They did later, because they recognized the importance of having a male role model. They may not have appreciated the father, but they said, okay, I agree with you that there should be a male role model.
Well, I think they got offended because they took it as, you're saying that I'm inadequate, I can't provide everything to my child.
Right.
Well, no one parent can provide everything to their child. That's why they're two parents. You can't even provide him life by yourself. And so why would you think that throughout his life you can provide everything else? It would make the other parent unnecessary. And it's not that they're unnecessary. If the child was, if the female child was with the father, just because that female child is with the father, it doesn't make the mother of the girl unnecessary. And by the same token, simply because the father is not there does not mean that the role of a father is unnecessary, because there's some things that a man provides that no matter how a woman tries, she'll never be able to provide for a young boy, and vice versa for a young girl. There's some things that no matter how hard I would try to provide for my daughter, there's some things I simply cannot do for her.
A friend of mine, we had lunch today, and she told me, says that, Ramon, we marry our fathers. Women, they marry their fathers.
Oftentimes, listen, when I was looking for, particularly a good father, when I was looking for a wife,
but wait, hold on.
My mom was the definition of a woman and what I was looking for.
Right, but wait a minute. Yeah, good father, but if you got a bad father, she said we marry our fathers. Now, if you got a bad father,
you're going to learn from a father. A boy learns from a father whether he's good or bad. If he's good, he learns by example.
Right.
If he's bad, the example is to not do it like your father did. And so it doesn't matter one way or the other. You're still going to learn from him.
Larry, that book that you shared with me, and we talked about this before, about Janetta Barris,
Janetta Rose Barris.
Right.
What happened to Daddy's little girl?
Well, I need to look at his little girl. She didn't have that example. And the example that she had, example she was using was her mother. And her mother, how her mother treated men. And
but she searched for her father within men.
Within men, right. She searched for him. However, like a friend of mine told me today, hey, Ramon, we marry our fathers. And so whatever father figure that you're going to present to that child, that woman, That's the father she's gonna probably more. She think, okay, that's the normal. Look, if I have listened to abusers, physical abusers of women, okay, and they grew up thinking that was normal, because I know a guy that he grew up, and I met him, and I asked him. He said, Ray, I punched my wife in the gut. He said he did a gut shot. I said, that's what you do to that guy. He told me he grew up with his mother being beaten by his father. That's what he think is normal. So it was no problem for him that his wife disrespected him or made him angry that he gave her a gut shot.
Well, that's abusive, and it never should be done.
Never should be.
I mean,
never. Now, a man should never put a,
Yeah, no reason why a man should have to put his hand on a woman. You can restrain her, you can hold her, you can get out the way, you can leave.
Unless she step in the ring with you like Layla Ali. Because I'd have to whip her behind. I'm sorry, Layla. I'm sorry, Layla. But you step in the ring with me, I'm fighting you back.
But in a situation like that, it's unacceptable. It shouldn't be done.
Shouldn't be done.
And a good father is going to teach a young boy that there's never a time when you have to. He's going to teach him temperament, and that, hey, even when she's going off, you can stay calm. You don't have to retaliate. You don't have to, oftentimes the hang up is that what people think is they think that because he's the head of the family, beneath God, that he is the person who runs the show. What that means is a good father teaches the son that means that you are responsible more than anybody else, that you are responsible to make sure the right things happen within this family. And that's from a totally different outlook than because you are the father, the head of the household, that you can do what you want.
Right.
That means you're more responsible.
Right. Now, I say this, no probably put John on the spot here, but John is a good father and he's a good husband. And I witnessed that, and I see that his interaction with Carla, his wife, and I said, you know what? Them jokers still on their honeymoon. They're still on their honeymoon. But here's the thing, his son and his daughter are witnesses of that. His son is seeing that, how affectionate my daddy is to my mother. So that's an example that his son has, that his daughter has. That's an example that John is setting. So now, 20 years from now, how old Gil is?
He's 9.
20 years from now, when Gil's looking for a wife, and when he gets married, he's gonna remember, I remember how daddy treated mama. And that's what he's gonna do.
She's a beautiful person. I couldn't do without her. Love her to death. And the honeymoon should go on.
It should go on, sure.
Forever. Because, she contributes to their life in a different way than I do.
That's right.
There's some things that I provide that she could not, and that she provides that I can't. And I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem because there's some things that I don't want to have to provide. Because there are things that a female provide. There's some things that I need to prepare him for, because I realize when he gets out in the world, how the world is going to deal with him. She's more nurturing, and kids need both.
They need both. They need both. Well, you've heard this, our second part 2. We'll probably be talking about family issues, on The Naked Truth, again sometime soon. Mother's Day or Christmas or other holidays. We'll be talking about that soon. But as we close out, this has been another episode of The Naked Truth. Remember to join us in our membership campaign, July the 4th.
July the 4th, we're starting a membership campaign to get 1 million members in 1 year. The website is www.jfrinc.org. $36 a year. We'll see you there.